hear us? Can you not hear me? Can you hear me now? 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 How about now? Test. Ooh, I can hear me now. Board Member George, can you hear us? Ooh. I should join that so I can see. I can't even see that. Switch, turn around, see who's on the meeting right there. I guess I can look over here. Board members, just Marion and Cheryl. Hey, heads up. Switch. You're Catholic, right? You got a good prayer for us? Not now. Not yet. Just, I mean, as we go through the agenda, because there's like nobody up here but me, they're, from online, they're going to be like, I mean, I could do it, but I don't want to. I've done it a couple times. Christine always makes fun of me after I'm done praying. What were you saying there? What are you praying for? Peace and harmony. The location. They're going to keep it hidden. Oh gosh. I bet they're going to hear it. Did I send that other email? There's another one from Ford-Aid School District. Is that the one you're reading? No, the one from today was from Curtis. I don't know how you say his name. Clug, Clue maybe. I don't have a clue.
Test.
Hello. I was able to talk to Dan, and he said,
I'm hearing you okay.
Hello, can you guys hear me? It's Cheryl.
Yes. Yes, Cheryl, I can hear you.
Okay. Sharon, are we ready to start? Take roll call?
Yeah. We do have a quorum, so we can start with the roll call.
Okay, it is 5:39 and it's November 21st. We'll start our Tuesday regular school board meeting by calling a meeting to order and verify quorum present through a roll call. President Aspis, Secretary Wells,
Here.
Vice President Suzette, yeah. Okay, and Board Member Montoya. And Board Member George, I'm here, so we have a quorum. We have 3. The Pledge of Allegiance. I can say the Pledge of Allegiance. If Mr. Secretary Wells, if you don't mind doing the prayer.
I can do that.
Okay, I'll start the Pledge of Allegiance. If you're in the boardroom, you can stand up and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America.
And to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, our agenda review is the routine matters.
Ms.
that
George?
We did the 8. Go ahead.
You were going to have Mr. Wells say a prayer?
You gonna let me have?
Oh, sorry. Okay, we'll back up. Mr. Secretary Wells is going to do the prayer. Sorry.
Our kind Heavenly Father, humbly we come before Thee at this time and thank Thee for the opportunity we have to meet together and some in person and some on Zoom. We're grateful for the technology that allows this. We're grateful for this opportunity and pray that we might have Thy Spirit to be with us during this meeting. Help us to discuss and try the issues that are before us, and that we might be guided and directed. These things we say humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Secretary Wells, for that prayer. Okay, so we'll move on to item D, agenda review. So we have our regular school board meeting at 5:30 at the Randy J. Manning Boardroom, Kirtland, New Mexico. The regular school board meeting is open to in-person participation and available to the live streams on the Central Consolidated School District YouTube. Routine matters, number 1, A, call meeting to order and verify quorum present through a roll call. B, pledge of allegiance. C, prayer. D, agenda review. E, approve agenda and or modifications. 2, comments from the audience. A, comments. 3, board and superintendent report. A, board member report. B, superintendent report. 4, reports. So we have A, Annual Marine Corps Toys for Tots Native American Program Christmas 2023 toy distribution by Jonathan Stowe. B, update fundraising request KMS Science Krispy Kreme fundraiser November 28th, 2023 through December 8th. 2023 by Miss Gina Jones. C, aerial drone competition grant from C Foundation for Kirtland Elementary School by Jay Bushy. D, request for approval of gift donation from the Simo family for Newcomb Middle School. E, the partnership for research and evaluation, PRE, notification of award to Central Consolidated School District by Peter Deswood. F, policy advisory number 221 with proposed amendments to 1 G-0550 staff conduct, 2 G-0750 staff conduct by Ms. Jermaine Chappelle. G, resolution of the Board of Education of Central Consolidated School District, support expansion of utility facilities for new education facilities in Newcomb by Jermaine Chappelle. 5, review consent items and items pulled from consent agenda for discussion and or approval. A, possible items removed from the consent agenda. 6, consent agenda. A, approval of the consent agenda. B, approval minutes for October 12th, 2023 work session and October 17th, 2023 school board. Fundraising request, KMS Science, Krispy Kreme fundraiser, November 28th, 2023 through December 8th, 2023. The annual Marine Corps Toys for Tots Native American program, Christmas 2023 by 2023 toy distribution. E, project graduation funding for Shiprock High School, Kirtland Central High School, and Newcomb High School. F, request for approval of gift donation for Navajo Transitional Energy Company Rookie Team grants with donation of $6,400 in the form of a robotic kit. G, request for approval of gift donation from the Simo family for Newcomb Middle School with a donation of $1,000. H, aerial drone competition grant from REC Foundation for Kirtland Elementary School. I, the partnership for research and evaluation, PRE, notification of award to Central Consolidated School District. And then J, resolution of the Board of Education of the Central Consolidated School District 1, directing superintendent and legal counsel of the Central Consolidated School District to negotiate renewals for the Sepatai, Najoni, and Newcomb land lease. And supporting the Newcomb chapter's efforts to install speed reduction mechanisms on Indian Service Route 198, Skyhawk Loop, and any other roadways near Newcomb schools and facilities, and support the Newcomb chapter's efforts to install school zone warning lights and other safety mechanisms on U.S. Highway 491. 3, supporting expansion of utility facilities for new educational facilities in Newcomb. K, policy advisory number 221 with proposed amendments to 1 G-0550 staff conduct, 2 G-0750 staff conduct. L, procurement over 60,000. M, budget adjustments and journal entries. 24010 Title 1 Part A ESEA -0043 1 2 24109 preschool IDA. Number 3, 24153 English language acquisition. 4, 24153, English language acquisition. And I can't see 5. But teacher principal training and recruiting dash 0053, 24174, Carl D. Perkins, secondary current. I can't see 7. Student support academic achievement title 5, or is that 6? Let me see, number 8, 24189, student support academic achievement title. Let me see. Number 9, 24190, title 1, comprehensive support and improvement. Number 10, ARP SR3. Number 11, ARP SR3. Number 12, Johnson O'Malley. 13, Save the Children. 14, GOB Library. 15, Grads Childcare. 16, Grads Instruction. 17, Grads Instruction. 18, Public School Capital Outlay. And 19, Public Schools. And let's see, I can't see the rest. Let me see. Hold on. Sharon, is that all of it, or is there more?
Sharon doesn't have a microphone yet, but she will. No, she
Okay. Mr. Carlson, would you mind reading the rest? I can't see the rest. Sorry.
What was the last one you read?
Let me see.
19 was the last one. The only thing that's left beyond that is number 7, executive session. A, convene an executive session discussion on personnel matters regarding the board's goal and expectation of the superintendent as permitted under NMSA 1978, section 10-15-1-H2 of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act. B, reconvene in open session stated that the board has discussed in the executive session only the subject identified in the agenda as the reason for which the meeting was closed. Discussion on personnel matters regarding the board's goal and expectation of the superintendent as permitted under NMSA 1978, section 10-15-1H2 of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act. 8, requested action items and or reports for next meeting. A, possible items for next meeting. Number 9, plus delta, A, plus and delta from board members. And number 10, adjournment. A, adjourn regular school board meeting. And that's all.
So we will go on to item E, approve agenda and or modifications. Do we, is there anything that we need to approve or modify on
Ms.
the
George?
agenda? Go ahead, Secretary Wells.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda.
I second. Okay, so we have Mr. Secretary Wells making the
Ms. George, could we do a timeout real quick?
yes. Sure.
I've been informed that we need to remove item E. And the
Remove
reason,
item.
yeah, the folks from the partnership were not able to send the documentation that they needed to attach. So we'll have to remove E.
That's E from 4 report.
From the 4 reports, yes, sir.
Ms. George,
Yes, go ahead.
let me amend that motion. I move that we approve the agenda with the removal of item E.
Okay.
I second.
Okay, so now we do a vote.
Yes.
Okay, we will take a vote to
Approve.
approve the
Motion.
item E. Oh, sorry, motion. Can you help me out?
To approve the
Okay.
amended agenda.
Do a roll call, Cheryl.
Okay, do a roll call. Okay, President Aspis? Vice President, Suzette?
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, Secretary Wells?
Yes.
Okay, Board Member Montoya? And Board Member George, yes. So we have 3
Motion
yes. Yes. Motion passed. Okay, so are we good to move on to item 2?
I believe we are.
Okay, so we will move on to comments from the audience. Ms. Sharon, do we have any comments from the audience?
Board Member George, we do not have any comments from the audience.
Okay, thank you. So with that, we'll move on to number 3, board and superintendent reports. Are there any board members that have a report to give?
I have none.
Okay. Vice President Haskey?
I do not have a report either. Thank you.
Okay. Board President Aspis? Board Member Montoya? And Board Member Cheryl does not have a report to give.
Rewind.
Okay, so with that, we will move on to number 4, reports. Annual Marine
Ms. George?
Corps Toys for Top.
Ms.
Yes,
George?
go ahead.
I was going to give a
Yes.
little superintendent report.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse you. I'm sorry.
For B.
Oh my
Just
goodness.
a little one. I promise it'll be quick. I just wrote it, so it can't be that long.
I forgot our only employee. Sorry. So we will have a superintendent report from Mr. Carlson.
Thank you, Board Member George. I'll do it real quick if I can. I just wanted to talk about a few things from last week. Last week I had a really busy week with some important events, so I want to talk about each of those. The first one I'd like to mention was our district's audit. On Monday, November 13th, the auditor gave his preliminary audit report to the school board and our cabinet. This is noteworthy for a couple of reasons. The first is that last year the audit wasn't finished until May 5th. So we were able to get started and finished much, much earlier this year. The second reason was that we had less findings than we did the year before. So that's fantastic as well. Our goal is to continue to reduce the number of findings next year until we're absolutely perfect. 0 findings eventually. I know we'll continue to make progress with our new finance director or business operations official or bookkeeper, Ms. Gonzalez. Also last Thursday, I attended an LESC or Legislative Educational Study Committee meeting in Santa Fe. The focus of this meeting was school attendance. I had the opportunity to sit on a panel of several superintendents from our state. I presented how our school district is quite different from other districts, at least in the challenges we have with attendance. Our state is currently wrestling with the issue of school attendance, and there's talk of increasing funding for personnel to help with attendance at school sites, and we're excited about that and hoping that the legislature does move forward with that and add somebody for us. Also, for those of you parents who don't want students to go an extra 5 days or more next school year, it's not actually legislation, it is a rule that the Public Education Commission would like to make, extending the school year to be at least 180 days. So, if you would like to make a public comment about that, there's a meeting in Santa Fe, we don't know where, secret. No, it's probably not secret, but we don't know where it is. But it's in Santa Fe on December 18th, and you're welcome to make a public comment because once public comments are made, then they can go ahead and make their decision. On Friday last week, our school board met for a very long day of updating, it was a great day, district policies. I'm happy to inform everyone that our board approved many, many updates that are going to help us as we move forward. a big thank you and congratulations to our school board for staying awake for the reading of a wide array of important, but maybe just a little bit boring, no offense, policies. And thank you to the board attorney, Jermaine Chappelle, and attorney Laura Castile for really working as a team and presenting for our school board. So thank you for all, the board and the attorneys for a great day of work on Friday. And that's what I have right now. That's it. So that was 3 minutes, right? 3 minutes and 3 seconds.
Thank you, Superintendent
You're welcome.
Carlton. Okay, we will move on to 4 reports. A, Annual Marine Corps Toys for Tots Native American Program Christmas 2023 Toy Distribution by Jonathan So. Mr. So, are you on?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you can go ahead and take the floor.
Madam Chair, board members, Superintendent Carlson, staff, faculty, guests, parents, visitors, good evening. My name is Jonathan So. I'm the program supervisor for Shiprock Dene Youth, formerly Office of Dene Youth. As you all know, every year the Marine Corps Reserve program provides toys for the less fortunate. We're in the planning stages, and this will be our 7th year coordinating for the whole Northern Agency. So this evening, I'm before you to request information. A list of names of students, first name, last initial only, due to confidentiality. Age, gender, and grade of all students attending the Central Consolidated Schools. This information will be used to allocate number of toys for each school, and the information also helps the youth staff volunteers identify age, gender, appropriate toys for each child. This collaborative approach will ensure a successful outcome, which is to ensure that every child receives a Christmas gift. And I ask for your support. I like to keep it short. I know you have a lengthy agenda before you. If there are any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Madam Chair?
Yes, thank you.
Ms. George?
Yes, go ahead.
Not a question. I just want to express approval. Toys for Tots. I appreciate the Marine Corps making this effort. I think it's a good one, and I heartily approve. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary. Any other comments or from the board?
I just want to make a comment, so.
Go ahead.
I am really appreciative of Dene Youth for providing the toys for our students, so thank you so much for all your work.
Thank you, and I'd just like to express the same to the Toys for Tots. I think it's a great program. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your support.
Okay, so if we're done with that, we will move on to let's see here. To be update fundraising request KMS Science Krispy Kreme fundraiser November 28th, 2023 through December 8th, 2023 by Gina Jones. Miss Jones, are you ready?
I am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Board Member Jones. As Per the request from last board meeting, I submitted the Catalina Island itinerary for the trips for March 24th through Thursday, March 28th, as what was requested from my understanding last board meeting. The cultural aspects have been put in that was requested by, I believe, the IEC to add some cultural aspects to our itinerary, and that has been put in and as shown on that itinerary. So at this time, we are requesting fundraising for Krispy Kreme fundraisers to provide funds for the additional $5,500 of the cost of our transportation that was not funded, so that reduces the cost for our 32 students that are going. The reason why we fundraise is to bring that cost down for each student. So I am requesting at this time approval from this board to go ahead and go on with our fundraiser so that we can have a way back. We can get there, we just don't have a way back. So that is all I have for you at this time, if there's any questions.
Ms. Jones, we certainly want to bring you home. I think this,
Comments? Oh, go ahead.
I think this, I'm sorry, Cheryl. I think this, this annual trip is quite beneficial. Certainly a pleasant experience for the youth. Yeah, we don't want to leave you on Catalina.
Thank you, Secretary Wells.
Does the board have any other comments or questions?
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, I have no questions, but thank you for that, Ms. Jones.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, we'll move on to item C, aerial drone competition grant from REC Foundation for Kirtland Elementary School by Mr. Jay Bushy. Are you there? Mr. Jay Bushy? Is there any other representative for Kirtland Elementary School for Mr. Bushy?
Cheryl,
Yes.
we can go on and then come back to that if he comes in.
Okay, we'll go ahead and do that. We'll move on and we'll come back if Mr. Bushy becomes available.
Ms. George?
So we'll go to,
Ms.
oh
George?
yes, go ahead.
I believe that Mr. Deswood could stand in since Mr. Bushy is not here.
Okay, Mr. Deswood, are you available? Are you ready?
He is. He's struggling with the microphone, though.
Okay, when you're ready, you can have the floor.
Hold it down.
There we go. Good evening, board members. I guess it's pro tem speaker, pro tem. Anyway, good evening, colleagues that are here in person and who are online. Again, just really quickly, this is accepting a gift donation from aerial drone competition. Mr. Bushy accepted or submitted an application for his school to do some drone competition. So he has some paperwork that needs to be completed and then, of course, signed off by the board. He's trying to increase drones is one of those fields where, flying these little drones around, it's a high-paying career that's coming up. I know that large farm south of Farmington has a company come in and they look at fields to see if they're watered properly. But this is one of the things that this drone competition is doing. I know a lot of the military as well uses drones these days. So he's just wanting to increase access to drones, and for his students, it is part of one of those STEAM careers. STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, architecture, and mathematics. So that is what this gift donation is about. I stand for questions.
I have no questions.
I don't have any questions either.
I don't have any questions either. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Husky, would you mind taking over the meeting since you're in person?
Yes. I don't mind. No, I'm trying to situate myself. So.
Okay, cool.
Give me
Thank
2
you.
minutes. Give me 2 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, everybody, we're going to give Ms. Husky 2 minutes. 2.5 minutes. Break time. Thank you, Ms. Husky.
Check out the cool plugs. You don't have your plug.
Where are we at? Okay. D, we will move on to letter D, request for approval of gift donation from the Simo family from Newcomb Middle School. Representative?
Oh, yeah, it's me, Amelia Jo Chandler. I'm the sponsor for the Newcomb Middle School 8th grade students. We have some very assertive parents this year, and they started fundraising in August, and they have collected close to $1,700 right now. And in November 1st meeting, one of our teachers who donated last year, her name is Miss Simo. She teaches English at our school. Her family are going to donate $1,000 to our Moving Up celebration for our end of year promotion for the 8th graders. So that is why I put this request in for that $1,000 on behalf of the 8th grade students and the 8th grade parents who have been working really hard, and then this was just a gift from Ms. Simo. So that's what's happening now. The fundraising they've decided will end in December, and this will be one of the last things that they're going to do. And then in January, they start spending the money for their celebration. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chandler. Board members, do you have any questions or comments?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So this request form you've got here is for the $1,000 only?
Yes, it's $1,000 only from the Simo family. I believe it's Miss Simo's mother's last will and testament that this will all go to the 8th grade kids at our school.
Okay. And the other monies have already been approved, or
Yeah, those
will
were
be?
fundraisers. Yeah, they were fundraisers through the concession stand at all the football games that we've done.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have, Madam.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Board members,
I have no.
go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying I have no comments.
Oh,
Thank
I
you.
thought you said I have one. Okay, thank you. Would you like to make a statement? Okay, all right. All right, but on behalf of the board and the school district, thank you to your family for thinking about our kids, thinking about the community. So we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. And I'd like to express our gratitude to the Simo family for always putting our kids first.
Yes, with much appreciation.
Yes.
And thank you for the pie, but I haven't had any yet, so thank you. Yeah, thank you. So we'll move on to letter E, the Partnership for Research and Evaluation, notification of award to Central Consolidated School District by Peter Deswood. Oh, did we skip that? Oh, sorry, we skipped that, sorry. I remembered as people looked at me. So, okay, letter F, policy advisory number 221 with proposed amendments to 1G0550 staff conduct, 2G075 staff conduct by Jermaine Chappelle.
And board members, actually, do you mind if we go to the next one first and then come back to the policy change?
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you. So last meeting, we talked about 2 resolutions. We have a third, and this one has to do with supporting expansion of NTUA utility upgrades to support the new Newcomb facilities that are being planned. So I'll read that into the record if that's your pleasure, board members.
Yes, please do so. Thank you.
Resolution of the Board of Education of the Central Consolidated School District supporting construction of new educational facilities within the Newcomb community and requesting NTUA to make necessary improvements and expansions to support construction of new educational facilities within the Newcomb community, as well as ongoing operation of educational facilities in the Newcomb community. Whereas the Central Consolidated School District Governing Board of Education operates public schools and school facilities within the Newcomb chapter community area, which includes Newcomb Elementary School, Newcomb Middle School, Newcomb High School, Dene B Library, Newcomb Bus Yard, and the Newcomb Teacher Housing Units. And whereas the Newcomb schools and community area continue to experience electrical power outages and inconsistent electric service due to insufficient capacity and infrastructure of the subject substation and related equipment, and whereas continuous and historic power outages and inconsistent electric service has substantial effect on the ability of employees in the area workplaces and students in area schools, and whereas the Newcomb schools and community area continue to experience low water pressure due to insufficient water delivery distribution systems, and whereas continuous and historic low water pressure has substantial effect on fire suppression and sanitation efforts in area workplaces and schools. And whereas The Central Consolidated School District is in the process of constructing new school buildings to educate students from the local community areas. That will expand the need for consistent electric and water service. Now, whereas the CCSD board has voted to make improvements to and build new educational facilities in the Newcomb community that will require a potential expansion of capacity and other upgrades to technology, equipment, and other components of the electric and water utility services provided by NQA. And whereas the CCSD board requests NQA to work with CCSD management to determine what is needed for adequate utility service in each planned project, so that adequate utility service will be timely available for completion of the planned projects in the Newcomb community. Now therefore be it resolved that the CCSD Board of Education requests NQA to work with CCSD management to determine what is needed for adequate utility service in each planned project so that adequate utility service will be timely available for completion of the planned projects in the Newcomb community. With that, I stand for questions. Board members.
Board members, do you have any questions or comments?
I have no questions.
Board Member George?
I have no questions or comments. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I don't have any questions either. Thank you.
Thank you. So for the next one, Sharon, do you have that to put up on the screen? The policy? And I'm last, right? Is there anything I am last on the reports? So I'm going to need to work with Sharon to get the policy up. Do you mind if we take a quick recess?
Are we ready? Back online? No? Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your patience, and we will continue with Ms. Chappelle.
Board members, some time ago, you had requested potential amendment to staff policies regarding conduct on trips funded by CCSD. Most of those are usually training trips. And so, board, what we have in front of you right now is G-0550 staff standards of conduct, the actual policy. And then the other one that would likely be relevant is staff G-0750. And so the first place, give you all a few minutes to look over this. And Sharon, you may want to just kind of scroll down a little bit so they can see what this has in it. The first part is just an intro, and then it goes down through with staff conduct and some delineated bullet points. And so if you keep scrolling, Sharon, keep going. Again, at the bottom of those initial bullet points are some additional bullet points discussing more expectations of staff. And so if you can kind of slowly go over those so the board can see those. And then the next one is staff ethics. And so we'll stop there once Sharon scrolls down to the bottom of this. And so Sharon, if you don't mind going back to the top, I have two areas that I propose making a language change. The first one is the very first sentence. So the first sentence says, district personnel shall maintain the highest standard of conduct and act in a mature and responsible manner at all times. And the first suggestion I would make is that after times you add a comma and include language that specifies, so it would read, district personnel shall maintain the highest standard of conduct and act in a mature and responsible manner at all times, including on trips sponsored or paid for by CCSD. Or travel, I think we could say trips and or travel. So that would be the first place, so that right out of the gate, staff understands that at all times doesn't just mean at school or at school buildings or on school property, but also means when folks are on travel for school business. The second place, board members, that I would suggest putting similar language is by adding a new bullet. And I think if you scroll down, Sharon, to those bullets, the lead-in to the bullets specifies no employee while on or using school property acting as an agent for the district or working in an official capacity of the district for the district shall. And so here, board members, that description would absolutely include folks traveling for school business, whether that be for training or some other purpose, like a presentation that we're giving. So the other place that I would recommend including a bullet is here, in which we indicate that if you look down, it does include use, possess, distribute, or sell alcohol, drugs, or illegal substances. Now, the issue here, right, is on their own time when they're not actually at the conference, our employees would be allowed to legally use or imbibe in alcohol at dinner, for example. The issue that we've had is that folks have kind of imbibed, overindulged, and so the charge that you all have asked us to do is to come up with some language to stick here, and that's where I would put this language, board vice president and board members, and the language I would include is to accomplish.
Secretary Wells, I see your hand up.
I'm not able to see the full document for some reason. I don't know. If Ms. Chappelle could read that, I would appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Would you like me to read those bullet points so you have an idea about what's already there?
I can see only the left half of that excuse me. No employee while on or using school property, and then if you could read that for me, I would appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam Secretary, or Madam Vice President.
Go ahead.
So the language reads, no employee while on or using school property, acting as an agent for the district or working in an official capacity for the district shall. And so one of the reasons I think this is a good spot for this language is that when you're on travel for a trip, whether it's training or a presentation or even a student-related trip, all employees would be acting as an agent for the district or working in an official capacity for the district in that specific situation. And so that's why I believe this is a good section to include that new language. I mean, we could even make it more clear in that lead-in section to say something like acting as an agent for the district or working in an official capacity of the district, including on travel sponsored by the district. You could even include that if that would be helpful.
It isn't the explanation I need. It's just the reading of the document.
Oh, sorry, sir. My apologies.
The second bullet point, cause damage or threaten damage.
Oh, he wants me to read the bullets. Okay. So the first bullet says engage in physical or verbal abuse of or threat of harm to anyone. The second bullet, cause damage or threaten damage to property of the district or property of a member of the community or a visitor to the school when the property is located on premises controlled by the district. Make any forceful or unauthorized entry to or occupation of district facilities, including buildings and grounds. Use, possess, distribute, or sell alcohol, drugs, or illegal substances. Use profane or abusive language, symbols, or conduct. Fail to comply with lawful directions of district officials, security officers, or any other law enforcement officer, or fail to identify himself or herself to such officials or officers when lawfully requested to do so. Carry or possess a weapon on school grounds without authorization from the, and if we could scroll down, Sharon, appropriate school administrator, violate district policies and or regulations, engage in any conduct violating federal, state, or applicable municipal law or regulation, engage in any other conduct that may obstruct, disrupt, or interfere with teaching, research, service, administrative, or disciplinary functions of the district, or any other activity sponsored or approved by the district. Then the language Secretary Wells goes on to state, in addition to the foregoing, all staff members are expected to thoroughly acquaint themselves with rules, regulations, and other information applicable to them as contained within the policies of the board and procedures and regulations of the district, conduct themselves in a manner consistent with effective and orderly education and the protection of students and district property, maintain order in a manner consistent with district policies and regulations, comply promptly with all orders of the superintendent and their immediate supervisors, dress in a manner and maintain a general appearance that their position, and that looks like it needs help. Dress in a manner and maintain a general appearance that their position and does not detract from the educational program of the school. So that has a typo in it somewhere. Comply with the requirements of 22-5-4.4 by immediately reporting student drug or alcohol use or abuse to the superintendent or other administrator. Guard against misappropriation of school assets and immediately report suspected theft or fraud to their immediate supervisor and or the superintendent. And that's the end. And so in that second path where it says all staff members are expected to, I think another addition that the board could make to that is that staff are expected to conduct themselves in a manner that reflects what we'd want our students to do in similar situations. And so kind of that example language could be put in the second set of bullets.
Ms. Chappelle?
Yes, sir.
I'm confused, I guess, that on the bottom of that it said it was approved in January. Are we amending this, or what are we doing?
Yes, sir. The request that was made is that we amend our current policy to make it very clear that staff who are on travel sponsored by the district cannot engage in excessive alcohol use or other displays.
Misbehavior?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It would have been helpful, it's not necessary now, but it would have been helpful if you could have underlined the changes so that someone like me could more easily note changes and alterations to the policy.
Yes, sir. We haven't actually
future.
made any changes yet, sir. We were just going to have a conversation about what changes you all want to make. And so I was just giving you some options about where to potentially place those types of changes in this document.
Secretary Wells, does that answer your question?
Well, I think it does. I think it's pretty comprehensive as it is. I'm not sure. I mean, there's nothing there that to me appears ambiguous. I think the fault came, the problem that arose came because personnel were not adhering to the policy, not because there was no policy in place. Perhaps other than amending the policy, we need to educate the employees.
And technically, Secretary Wells is right. Because of that, actually what this policy says is when you're in official capacity for the district, you can't drink at all.
I don't think, my comment is, I don't think that it's harmful to add a couple more bullets for clarity's sake. I think in the situations that have arose, that the additional bullets will make it even more clear on the type of conduct, the expectation and the conduct that is expected of all employees as representatives of CCSD while they're on travel. So, in my opinion, that the additional language will add additional clarity and especially if it's being discussed and brought up that there is I guess more discussion about it, which means that everybody has to adhere to this. I'm not sure what else to do then once these amendments are made, that we really have to push them forward. No, this is the way it is. I mean, so.
I guess I have excuse me.
Go ahead.
I guess I have a question for Superintendent.
Sir, go ahead.
Is there a time and place, I guess, that these issues that the staff and employees of the district could be, this policy could be discussed and ask if there's any questions and make sure they understand that this is the requirement, this is what's expected of them in their behavior, and that violation of such would be dealt with or something. I don't know. I hate to threaten people, but considering the issue that came about, that brought about this excuse me, this enforcing or reforcing this policy could be, I guess, could be instructed, make sure that everybody understands it, not just say, please read your policy?
Absolutely. I mean, it needs to be articulated throughout our staff. It's something that if the extra language is put in there, we need to make sure they understand. And I think probably through Jeanette, maybe some little word of mouth throughout the district, that people know about the reason why this is happening. I'm pretty sure that the vast majority of staff would understand the reason. And so I'm sure it's something they would just see coming, and it's absolutely something that we would articulate through all of the ranks, any type of travel.
Just to clarify, Superintendent, are you supportive of adding a few bullet points?
I think I agree with Vice President Haskey in the fact that it just sort of drives it home. It doesn't necessarily change it so much as just says, this is for real. And so I think it's a good idea.
It looks like we are. Are we down?
I wasn't suggesting that we don't add it. I just was surprised that this was the policy, and apparently, like I said, I see nothing ambiguous in it. I don't know why why the behavior was such as it was that would require. What I'm saying is I'm not opposed to to reinforcing the policy, adding to it if necessary. I just am surprised that we had that in place and it wasn't taken seriously, I guess.
Thank you, Secretary Wells. Ms. Gonzalez, you have your hand up.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
So one of the things I just wanted to state is that after all of these instances occurred, we have drafted a memo that I need to make sure that everybody is adhering to and signing, that basically says, and I'll read it to you, it just says, "Dear whoever, we are excited you're able to travel to expand your professional skills. Your required attendance at each session will allow you to gain knowledge in current education, research, financial updates, and trends. Remember, when you are selected to go on a training or to a conference, you represent our community, our schools, and our entire district. Even as adults, we all need reminders from time to time, and this memo serves as that reminder. If and when you are representing our district in any capacity, please be professional at all times. You never know who is watching you or taking a picture of you that can and will end up on some type of social media post. If you choose to go out for drinks with fellow colleagues, please make sure you're not wearing clothing with the CCSD insignia on them, which would also include name tags, etc. And please make sure you are behaving appropriately and respectfully. As you are all aware, it only takes one social media post to cause distrust in our staff and our community. We are also asking that no social media posting during the workday. You will be traveling during work time as well, so please do not consume alcohol during our duration at the airport. We appreciate your cooperation in this serious matter. Please submit a signed copy of this letter when you are on travel for Central Consolidated School District. Please sign below acknowledging you have read and understand the travel requirements." And so I know that was implemented back when that issue came up, and we've continued that. So I don't know if you want us to continue with that as something that we're including in all of our travel packets.
I think that's a really good idea, but the verbiage really does go against the bullet point number 5: use, possess, distribute, or sell alcohol, drugs, or illegal substances. So it does allow for alcohol consumption while on CCSD travel.
Right.
So
So I can have them remove all of this and not include it in the packet until we come up with something, but I just wanted to make you aware that that's been included in the documents, I think, since that issue occurred.
okay. Well, I appreciate that. I think that's really good that that letter, that reminder is given, and so if something does arise, then there are consequences because everybody's been reminded of it, and then reinforced by the policies, the amendments to the policies. Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. Ms. Chappelle?
I agree, Madam Vice President, that I'm glad that we have that. I'm glad that they went ahead and did that. I would suggest perhaps that we can look at the verbiage of that and maybe make it more forceful so that there's... Anyway, I think it's a good thing, and we ought to keep it in place until we can look at the verbiage and either approve it or make alterations to it.
Thank you, Secretary Wells. Board Member George, do you have any comments? questions? Sharon, I don't see her online. Cheryl.
You want more of these, honey?
Mr. Montoya, can you speak?
Yes, I am here.
Can you hear? Hey, thank you. Good evening, Board Member Montoya.
Good evening.
So, we will continue. We will continue on to, or are there any questions or additional comments in regards to letter
I do have
F?
a question.
Yes, go ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, we're talking about the employee conduct.
Yes.
Okay, and this is in reference to obviously some of the things that have transpired over the past few months.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know, for the sake of discussion in respect to the justifications, if the individuals, and I know we're not using names, but just as a matter of, I guess, whether it would be clarity or certainly just the understanding that people have been held accountable. Has that been addressed for the justifications of what we're speaking of?
Board Member Montoya, thank you for your question. What we have as a recommendation right now is based on the conversation of the board members at today's meeting and previous meetings. I think I have sufficient information now to come back with some recommendations to amend policy G-0550 and G-0750, as well as to work with staff on the memo that they currently are using to make sure the language is consistent. And so our recommendation would be to bring this back in December, having worked with staff on the memo to make sure the language is consistent with the proposed changes.
Okay, I understand that and certainly respect any adjustments that are made pursuant to further information that has been received. And I know when we talk about these things publicly that people are listening in and certainly wanting to know that, again, the applied justification for those reasons are adhered to. And I know there's a fine line that we certainly can't cross when it comes personal behavior, but when, as we've said before in other meetings regarding these things, that when the district is certainly funding these trips and especially professional development, that there's a very high level of expectations. So that's kind of why I have that question regarding behavior and conduct that had deemed this necessary to occur. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, are there any more additional comments or questions from the board? Okay. For F, Ms. Chappelle, I'll address that in the consent agenda.
Yes,
And that concludes our reports. We will go on to 5, review consent items and items pulled from consent agenda for discussion and or approval. And I recommend pulling K, Policy Advisory 2221 with proposed amendments for further recommendations and memos on this policy.
Board Vice President Haskey.
Thank you. Okay, wait. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Board Vice President, we also need to remove I.
Oh, okay, I. And I.
Did you hear that, Mr. Montero?
Yes, they denoted the correct line.
Yeah, there's what was the first one?
To pull letter I and letter K.
I and K. So that's the two that we need to pull. So if you want to make a motion, pull those two.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to pull I and K for further consideration.
Thank you. Do I have a second? I second it. I'll second it. Roll call vote. Secretary Wells, how do you vote?
I have one question. I couldn't
Sure.
get this thing to work. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead. What's your question?
Why are we pulling I?
We didn't have the,
Didn't we have the presentation on that?
no, we haven't had the presentation on it.
Okay. All right. I will second it then. Oh, you already seconded it.
Yes. So it's roll call vote. How do you vote?
I vote yes.
Board Member Montoya?
Yes.
And I vote yes, 3-0. Okay, now we move on to number 7, executive session. A, convene an executive session discussion on personnel matters regarding the board's goal and expectations of the superintendent as permitted under NMSA 1978, Section 10-15-1, H2 of New Mexico Open Meetings Act. B, do I do the reconvene part? Okay, so do I have a motion to move into executive session?
I so
Make a
move.
motion to go into executive session.
Okay. Secretary Wells, do you second?
Yes, I'll second it.
Okay. We will vote. Board Member Montoya, how do you vote?
Yes.
Secretary Wells?
Yes.
And I vote yes. We will move into executive session. Thank you.
Ms. Haskey?
Yes.
Yeah.
Evening, everybody. There was, after a quick discussion, we felt the need to not have an executive session. So I will read B, reconvene in open session, stated that the board has discussed, we did not discuss, but I will read this, has discussed an executive session only the subject identified in the agenda as the reason for which the meeting was closed. Discussion on personnel matters regarding the board's goals and expectations of the superintendent as permitted under NMSA 1978, Section 10-15-1, H2 of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act. So I need a motion to reconvene.
Madam Vice President,
Yes.
I move that we reconvene in open session.
Do I have a second?
Second.
And now I will do the roll call vote. Secretary Wells, how do you vote?
Yes.
Board Member Montoya?
Yes.
And I vote yes. So we are back in regular session. So number 8, we are moving on to number 8, requested action items and/or reports for next meeting, possible items for next meeting. Board Member Montoya?
I don't have anything at this time.
Okay, thank you. Secretary Wells?
I have nothing.
Thank you. And I don't have anything either. So number 9, plus we're moving on to plus deltas. Plus deltas from the board members. Board Member Montoya?
This is not going to be a plus or delta, but since I've been having technical difficulties, I'm going to, if it's all right with you, Madam Vice President, to go ahead and do my report.
Okay, yes.
Okay. All right, so some of you know or may not know, I was just recently out in New Orleans for the National Congress of American Indians, and really doing some networking, and I think I may have some opportunities for the district and our kids to participate in. They look very positive at this point in time, and I'll be discussing those things with the superintendent to try to forward some of these initiatives and these opportunities. But the other thing, too, is that I was able to hear and speak with different tribes from around the country regarding the White House initiative for language revitalization, and listening to some of the sessions that had occurred, and those processes seem to be moving in place at this time. They were very interested in what I had to offer as far as the framework and scaffolding that I have created and developed. And so hopefully that will help them as well. There's further conversation to occur with them, with some of the other people from around the country, and possibly even the executive director of the White House Initiative for Native Language Revitalization. Also, in the educational seminars, there was another school district who also had an initiative for impact aid that inevitably was, first was tabled, and then I spoke with them and kind of reminded them of what we did last year and had it untabled, and then it went through the subcommittees and passed, and I didn't review to see if it had initially passed, but it was highly supported within those subgroups. But again, it's also helpful to get other people from around the country and public schools to support Impact Aid as well. So that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Secretary Wells?
Yes, ma'am. A plus, I wanted to make a comment about our our meeting on Friday. I think it went exceptionally well. We were well represented by Miss Laura. I can't remember her last name. She was efficient, effective, and we covered a lot of ground. And I think thanks to her organization, we were able to do all that we did in one day, and I think that was very good. Another plus, we have managed to take care of a lot of business tonight in a reasonable amount of time, and I want to thank all of the board and everyone concerned for that. Thank you.
Thank you. And I do not see any other board members on the line, so I will give my plus and in concurrence with Secretary Wells. Thank you to all the CCSD employees for your dedication and work with our students and our community, and all my fellow board members for doing the work that you do. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you, and be safe. And number 10, adjournment. If I could have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn. And before I close out the adjournment, also last week for that work session, I had the same problem, but I was actually watching in on Facebook, so I was able to listen to some of those conversations, and they were very insightful. So
that's good.
We can proceed.
Okay. Motion?
I so move.
Second? Did you, Board Member Montoya, did you motion or did you second?
I had motioned.
Okay. Secretary Wells?
I will second then.
Thank you. And roll call vote. Secretary Wells, how do you vote?
I vote yes, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Thank you. Board Member Montoya?
Yes, happy Thanksgiving and happy birthday to me.
Thank you, and happy birthday. That's why you're not here. We would have had a big
before we leave?
cake, and I vote yes. So thank you, everyone.
What's that?
Thank you, everyone.
Can we sing? Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gary. Happy birthday to you.
Yes,
Boy, we were-
well, I thank you for that. It's not officially till Friday, but I'll take that anyway, and that's a belated birthday singing to Steve as well.
Thank you, dear.
He got a
So
cake.
we're the same age again.
All right. Well, be safe, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, have a good night.
That worked out all right, right? Thank you there, Gary. So I'm gonna start cleaning up.